Legal battle over housing for sex offenders is getting more intense. So two landlords sued St. Tammany Parish over a new law which puts tight restrictions on people who rent homes to sex offenders.
But now they're asking a judge not to enforce it. Rachel Hanley joining us in the studio now. So Rachel, who's really affected by the ordinance?
Well, it applies to homes where 15% or more of the people who live there are registered sex offenders. And this all came about because Lacombe had an unusually high number of sex offenders living in it. More on that in a second. The ordinance went into effect last year. It says those homes are now formally considered transitional housing, and that means they have to have a supervisor on site 24/7. They have to pay a permit fee to the parish each year, and they have to build a 6-foot privacy fence. They also can't have more than one sex offender per 1,000 square foot area of living space. Parish Councilman Joe Impastato was the one who first introduced this ordinance. He represents Lacombe. He accused landlords in that area of buying up cheap housing and then renting it to sex offenders, sometimes multiple in the same home, for an easy profit. In December, two Lacombe landlords sued the parish over the law. They were given this notice on one of their properties saying they were in violation of it. Just this week, their lawyer asked the judge to pause enforcement on the rule while the case is in progress. Impastato told us since the ordinance went into effect, the number of registered sex offenders living in Lacombe has dropped. That does seem to be the case. Last spring, before this law took effect, the Times-Picayune reported there were about 140. Now the state's registry lists about 100.
Priority one is keeping St. Tammany Parish residents safe. And this has been the best example that I've ever seen, or a great example of all government agencies coming together, working together to try to solve a problem. And it's been effective, and it's going to be even more effective.
I did reach out to the attorney representing those two landlords, and so far he hasn't responded. In the court filing we're talking about, he argues that the ordinance is unconstitutional. He also argues the judge should pause enforcement because his clients are, quote, substantially likely to succeed in this suit.
All right, Rachel, more to come on that, I'm sure. Thank you.